Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Midweek Live, middle of the week, middle of the day. So glad that you were joining us. Maybe you're eating lunch. I don't know. Hopefully something yummy.
Yeah. Tacos.
I have any tacos
Wait,
is a
Wednesday.
good one.
Yeah, it's
No,
okay.
that works. It doesn't have to be Tuesday. It's fine. Tacos.
Every meal, every day.
I'm set. You said tacos, and I'm down. Like, let's do this. I have Sally here with me today. Thank you, Sally. Her face might look familiar. Sally and Dave have joined me on Midweek Live almost a year ago. I was looking back, just about a year ago, as we were kicking off our first open, right, re-engage group, because you guys were part of that first group that went through it, and really those are the leaders that started that that actual official first year. And I hear you guys are still leaders.
Yeah, we're in our fourth time.
Wow.
Fourth go around. Yeah.
Do you still getting stuff out of it, you think?
Oh my gosh, totally.
Yes.
Because I think when we first started it, at least for me, I was so worried about being a leader that I was looking at it from a leader's
Totally get
perspective.
that. Yes.
Even though we were going through it also. Now that all of those nerves have kind of chilled a little bit, and we can look at it from a couple's perspective, and there's been some pretty big things.
That's awesome.
Big breakthroughs, yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, don't worry, we're not going to talk re-engage today without hubby with you. But I wanted you on because we are in a message series. We just hit week 2 this last Sunday called Screen Time. And it's really kind of talking about how to grow spiritually in a digital world. And so I just kind of prayerfully looked through, there's just ladies and people online that I'm constantly encouraged by. Ones that I notice in my feed are consistently, I really believe, using social media in the most positive ways. I think they're intended ways.
Yeah.
The idea to do community and when we look at our church mission statement to create a positive faith environment. That's one of our first wordings of our mission statement. And I really feel like the ladies that I'm having on, and yes, I'm saying ladies, sorry, guys, it doesn't mean that we don't care. I was just telling Sally a moment ago, 70% of our viewership are women. Globally speaking, it's 60% that the ladies are on social media. But for us as North Point, it's 70%. And so it's the majority here. And so it's not surprised that I see you guys on my feed more often. Yeah. And so I just wanted to kind of dig in. I got a chance to sit down with Linda and talk with her. Sally, you bring a whole different thing to the table. You have done businesses on social media. You have, I think, more than one business account on social media. You've done blog posts in the past. I don't know that you're doing that currently. You probably have a lot on your plate right now. I know you've done photography. You've done a variety of things. Yeah. I've been encouraged by it. But I really wanted to dig in and hear more from you and ask you some questions about how to do social media in a responsible way.
Okay.
And you laughed at me.
Yeah,
You were like, I can't believe you're asking me to do this. and so I think that's actually a good thing to mention. Maybe you're someone that doesn't feel like you're being, the influence you think you are. Why don't you ask around a little bit? You might be surprised to find out that you've been an encouragement.
Oh,
and so I just want to encourage you.
Very kind. I'm humbled.
Well, let me ask you, when did you start your social media journey?
Well, personally, it was probably around 2009. Facebook was my first social media. However, I have a couple of kids. One's 30 and one's 32, so they were all into MySpace.
Yes,
in the early 2000s.
Yes,
yeah, so I kind of kept a pretty eagle eye, you know, on them throughout that, and could see right away the dangers as well as the positives. So I kind of knew about social media before Facebook started, and then I jumped on in 2009-ish.
Yeah. Have you had bad experiences online?
Yeah, who hasn't?
I was going to say,
who
I would be
hasn't?
surprised if you said no to this answer.
Yeah,
Can you share one or two of those experiences?
Yeah, well, talking about my kids, early on Facebook, they were still fairly young, and, I was a protective mom and watched everything they did, and that's not a secret. And I had stepped into one or two conversations that they were having, as, and my daughter didn't take kindly to that, and so she unfriended me.
Yes.
So if you've been unfriended before,
you're like,
first of all, being unfriended, you wouldn't know unless you went to go look for it.
Right.
But this is my daughter. She unfriended me until I was,
awesome.
until she deemed it acceptable to come out of Facebook jail.
Facebook your daughter.
Yeah,
your daughter for you.
exactly. So that actually taught me a really good lesson. I learn a lot from my kids.
Yeah.
To just, we don't have to step into every single conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was tough.
Yeah.
Because, they're my kids and I want to talk to them,
Right.
So,
but they're like, Mom, not on here. Seriously.
And now I totally get it.
This is MySpace, but it's Facebook.
Yeah, right. So that was
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
How many times have you wanted to walk away from social media?
How many times have I walked away from social media?
Answer it.
Many times. I've actually closed my Facebook down several times.
Yeah.
Not lately. It's been maybe a consistent 6 or 7 years, maybe.
Okay.
But I really had some tough times in the beginning. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now I just take breaks.
Yes, I was going to say, I think that, because you can turn notifications off. You don't have to be notified of.
That's one thing I have done. I have no notifications on my phone. No email, no Facebook, no Instagram, nothing.
Somewhere in the year 2020, I removed Messenger, and I just kind of refused to use it. As a personal thing. I don't use Facebook Messenger. There's just a lot of things that are not real out there.
Right.
We kind of have to as North Point, right? So people ask questions and stuff, and it's been a really good benefit, I think, way for people to communicate with us. But that's been one of the things that I know I've had to say, you know what, I'm just not going to do that. If they really want to get in touch with me, they know, there's other ways.
Yeah.
And if they're like really close friends and family, then they have my number.
Right. Exactly.
What keeps you coming back, sharing life online?
I think it's really just I'm super social. And
You
I
are.
love people. And I
Mm-hmm.
love to see what people are doing. I love seeing their pictures. I love seeing their families and who's getting married, who's maybe unfortunately passed away. I've
that's
learned,
real.
through my high school group that there's a lot of people that, have passed that I wouldn't have known about. So that's probably why I keep my Facebook open.
Really staying informed on just like life.
I don't, well, I shouldn't say I don't post on it because I do, but that's not my first, my first choice as far as social media goes. But yeah, pretty much just to keep in touch with old friends and just to stay up to date.
Yeah. You've written blogs. I mentioned this, taking pictures. You've started, businesses on social media. How different is it in each of those realms to be involved in social media and your focus is blogging or business? Like how different is it? Is it a different mindset, you think?
Yeah. So I have 3 Instagram accounts. Only one Facebook, but I have 3 Instagram. There's 2 businesses. One is my husband's and one is mine. And then one is personal. My business I just started in August. And it's just it's just fun. So many people, just as we call it, a side hustle.
Yes.
And it's just fun. I love California.
I can tell.
I'm a California girl.
And I love it. And I love that you love California.
I know.
Because I love California too.
I know. And so many people don't love California. And I'm not going to get into politics at all. But
that's fine.
I just, it's my home. And so now I'm living in Central California. And so I just kind of wanted to celebrate that.
Yeah.
And so I carry fun things pertaining to California. But as it pertains to my business, I only post things about California.
Yeah.
For the most part. I don't keep that one private.
Right.
That one's open.
Right.
So that people can,
right. So your personal one you do keep private.
My personal is
business
private.
One, yeah.
You have to
request
to be, and the differences between the two are very different. I'm finding in that the business account gets really funky responses,
Okay.
which don't make me comfortable at all. But I just kind of ignore them. I have no problem ignoring things, or I'll delete them or whatever. There's strange things out there that you know.
Yeah.
So in that respect, the businesses and my husband's business, he doesn't need it for advertising.
Right.
He's been an established business for 30 years, and he's never advertised.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, can I do something? Because I want
Yeah,
people to see your work.
Yes.
You know, he does this great tile work, and so and I love taking pictures.
Yes.
I love color. I love design. I love advertising, and I've just always had an interest in that. So that's kind of, it's a creative outlet for me.
Yeah. Is it true? I'm kind of reading between the lines here that there's almost some benefit to having the business account because of the fact that you feel a little more, there's a little more anonymity in, I mean, they know you, but they don't know you, right? They know you're the business owner, but they don't have a personal relationship with you. So the whole like blocking or deleting or whatever doesn't feel as personal as it might feel if this person was like a friend of yours on your personal profile account.
Yeah, the line that becomes blurred, well, where it becomes blurred is that nowadays all the business people out there on social media are saying that your business has to reflect you. So it really is you.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to, you know, you're the face, it's your business. So there isn't any anonymity.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you're following the quote unquote rules of social media, you're supposed to be the face of your business.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's no hiding.
Yeah. You're like, even though I kind of want to sometimes.
Well, and then I look at some business accounts and I see, who owns this? Who is this? You know, and just in my own curiosity, I'm, you know, I want to see more of the person.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in business,
people connect with people.
It's
though,
about
that's why.
trust. And once you gain trust in your business, you know, people will basically
be more attracted to it because they feel like they're trusting a person as opposed to a business.
A story. They love story. That's why we see on the Olympics these great, beautiful stories about the athletes.
Yes.
I love that part.
Me too. I love it. I love the Olympics. They're just so fun to watch. How has social media impacted you? So we've talked about like it's bad experiences. This is different. Things that impact you emotionally, you know, you struggle with stuff like that, positive and negatively.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing for me, and it really is hard, really hard, is seeing people that I love get caught up in something that is damaging, whether it's the political climate or just whatever it is, the flavor of the day, and they lose control of their good sense, so to speak.
Yeah.
That really affects me.
Yeah. That makes you sad.
Yeah, makes me very sad.
Yeah. Positive influences?
Positive influence are always people that are doing amazing things. Just right off the bat, Bob Goff.
He's so fun.
You know, if I'm feeling down or I need something fun, Bob Goff, the Skit Guys.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow,
Yeah.
You know, a handful of Dodgers that I follow I usually follow people that are doing good things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And so you know where to kind of go when you need to see like the positive ways that things are.
Yeah, I don't really follow negative much at all.
I hear you,
In fact, some of the friends that have gone to the negative side, I just unfollow them.
Well, and that's
or hide them.
And I was curious. I was going to say, how do you work with, you know, those negative things? How do you work through it? And that's one of the ways.
Yeah, I'll just hide them.
Yeah. Well,
you know.
Yeah, I've done it too.
Yeah.
I've done it too. Yeah. What's an encouragement you would give someone who's had a bad experience? I mean, maybe they're surrounded by people that are also bad experience, like they're not good influences on social, so they don't even know how to do this well.
Yeah, I would. Each situation is so different. I would have to kind of ask a lot of questions to find out, you know, what happened or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I would tell people when you're following someone, what kind of And I know we're not supposed to follow our emotions, but God gave us emotions for a very
right. They're indicators.
real reason. Yeah. And if we're getting tense over something,
Yeah.
you might want to step back and just kind of reevaluate what it is that's making you tense. Is it out of God's kingdom?
Yeah.
Are you stepping into a realm that is dark?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. The same way you would have like if we were friends and we would feel this way around each other, right? It doesn't really change the fact that, because you're not sitting across from the person, but if they're not, a good influence on you, it's something to question.
Yeah. And if you're attracted to that,
that's also something to question.
That's something that you really need to give to the Lord. And I mean, we're talking about Christians here,
right? Yeah, but that's true.
But Christians can easily fall into that stuff. I've
100%.
done it myself.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
based on your experiences, should people fear social media?
Yes and no. We have to be, as Christians, and I assume we're speaking to Christians, but maybe not. I don't know. As Christians, we need to be really, really tight with the Lord and grounded in His Word. And I have found that the more grounded I am, the more I'm in His Word, the clearer I see. And if that's the case, if you feel grounded and strong and you're living by the Spirit or whatever, I think it can be a very, very powerful tool.
Yeah.
In a positive way.
Yes.
Because I think somewhere you said it's a limited.
Yep.
Or limitless mission field.
Yep.
And it really is. I mean, we can reach people
worlds away.
Away. Yeah. Yeah.
What are some healthy habits that you've added to your social scrolling?
Well, I think I mentioned before, I've turned off all notifications.
Yeah, that's good. That is really good. And that really helped. Shane talked a lot about the dopamine effect, right? That you post and then the dinging, the response of it. It's a, I don't think he said this, but in my mind, I was you like me, you really like me, right? It's that response of that's what you think is happening in those moments, and that's dangerous.
Yeah. The other thing I do not do is I don't put any value in how many friends I have or how many follows I have. Because I've watched it and I'm like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Now it's hilarious. At one time it would have hurt my feelings. But I mean, I watch it, I go, oh, I've got 190 followers.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, I've got 183. I'm like, what happened to the 7,
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Yeah. And then there's this game that's out there where people will follow you just so you'll follow them, and then they unfollow you.
Yeah.
So that they get, it's such a bizarre thing. So those are the things that are really kind of scary.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It is very fluid. Right, changes constantly. So you kind of hinted to this. I hadn't actually said it yet, but this was the statement that I sent you. I said social media. So how do you? Basically, I'm asking you how you feel about this statement. I said social media is a powerful tool that can be wielded for positive or negative use. We have a great responsibility to take the power of technology to the limitless mission field that is social media. What does that statement mean to you? It's been kind of one of the things that's been rolling around in my head.
Yeah. The part about we have a responsibility to take the power of technology kind of makes me a little twitchy because I don't feel like I have responsibility to take technology anywhere. I do feel I have a responsibility to take the power of the gospel everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And so if I choose that my medium is going to be social media, then that's what I'm going to use.
Yeah.
And or if I, go to a street corner, or I knock on doors, or whatever the avenue is that I choose to share the gospel, is the medium I'm going to use. But I do choose to use social media, because I believe, like we said, it is limitless, and we can reach people in ways that, I mean, Jesus isn't coming back until everybody's heard. Mm-hmm. And so there's a sense of urgency for me.
Wow.
Not in a crazy way, because I know
Right.
the Lord is going to use me in whatever way he uses me.
Right.
But I do feel like if social media is my avenue, that's what I need to be sharing and using.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we not all of us can afford to get into an airplane and fly to different countries, right?
Right.
Do missions in many different countries or fields or whatever, but we can, in fact, do that.
Yeah, it's amazing that you say that too, because David and I went to Africa. We went to and now all of these people. I mean,
I went to India and I have the
they
same.
love
thing.
social
Yes.
media.
Yes,
and they have it, and it may be impoverished places, but they still have.
they have access to it.
Yeah,
and we're
they're
surprised.
hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's why I personally love just the online community, because
me too.
it's always so beautiful to me to see just the variety of people that are engaging in worship and engaging in the message. And we're doing this thing across state lines and country lines and vast oceans, together. And I think that's a really powerful and cool thing, that the Lord is not hindered by any of this. I mean, he never was before, and he still isn't, whether we're in this thing or not.
He's the limitless one. And as soon as he doesn't like social media anymore, he'll put a
get rid
stop
of
to it. And we can trust him in that,
Yeah, for sure. I think that's great. Okay, so just a final thought here.
Okay.
If I've never owned a social media platform in my life, I have no idea what it is at all. And I was asking you what it is and what it's used for. How would you define it?
I think I would say that it is a platform for people to stay in community with one another. It is also a very dangerous tool that people are using to hurt people. And this is going to sound funny, but I'd probably encourage somebody, if they haven't had it up to this point, why get on it now unless you're going to share the gospel? I don't know. That's a really tough one, because I mean, my 91-year-old mother has an Instagram and a Facebook. So I mean, it's just it's a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And we have to just be strong enough to make sure that it's being used in a positive way.
Yeah. And you wonder
It's scary.
how often it is. I think I was telling you before, I quote Spider-Man all the time, and I apologize in advance for
I
this.
love Spider-Man.
But
Which one?
I really like it. Yeah,
Which
we'll
one?
get into this. This is going to change the whole theme.
The whole
right here.
conversation.
But seriously, with great power comes great responsibility. There's a lot at our fingertips when we pull up our socials, whether it's for our own entertainment or whether it's to share life with others, or whether it's, and honestly, those are the two, for me, those are the two realms that I use social media for: entertainment, laughing at something, hearing a joke, or like just smiling and laughing at something, enjoying something, or trying to share life, what's happening in my own life that I want to let people know about, or whatever, to celebrate birthdays or things like that. And you haven't
honor people.
Yeah, honor people and or show appreciation towards people that have just gone out of their way to love on you in some way, and that always feels good, because good begets good, right? So in other words, when you see goodness and you want to then be good yourself. I'm not a big I'm not into instigating. I don't think that's the place for it. And but like you, I've also had to go through and hide people or mute people, or because I don't want that to be. I think that's healthy, responsible ways to be in the world, but not of the world, to be in this platform, on these platforms, but not having to be like all that's happening there. You have to be just like it. You don't,
right?
You don't. To be
and we're called to be set apart.
Yeah. So I think prayerfully, consider how you are using the platforms that you're on, whatever they are.
Yeah.
It's interesting how I've over time learned how to use different platforms for different things. I don't know if you do the same thing. These aren't even in the questions, but I use, maybe Twitter is something I'm not on all that often, but for my personal one, I just follow a bunch of sports people.
Yeah.
So I keep that one specific to sports.
That's awesome. I'm a total sports person. But I'm not on Twitter.
But that's the only way I will, because I'm not a huge fan, but I just enjoyed, seeing the stats and hearing what's happening and stuff. And then, on TikTok, for me, it's just a lot of laughing, a lot of dance videos and dog videos that just make me smile, they just make me
I'll
smile.
send you a couple.
There you go.
I'm not on TikTok either, but there's enough reels on Instagram to
the same thing,
to
basically
keep,
the same thing.
grab me.
but and so that's what I mean, like knowing, where to go for different things and not using them all for the same purpose of just being friends with every single person and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm grateful that you've stopped in here to just share some of your insight. And like I said, for me personally, you've been one of those that have been a positive influence for me on days where I've just been kind of feeling a little maybe, less than excited about something. I see a post come through of you taking pictures of wildflowers or, a lakeside or your dog or something, and it just makes me smile because it just reminds me of like, people are doing life just like I'm doing life. And we're here just trying to share in community the things that encourage us and bring us a smile or, a break in the middle of what can be hard sometimes. Seasons and days can be difficult just depending on the individual that they're walking in. So
I'd like to say one last thing, and that is for anybody who gets discouraged by social media, it's not you. Social media is not where we should be finding our value, right?
Absolutely. That's why I think it's important to turn off notifications. You don't need to be, it's
just
not
a
the
fun
purpose.
thing. It's just a fun thing. Pick up the phone, talk to someone, know.
Open your Bible. Sorry.
That's a big one.
Open the Word of God.
Well, like I said, the more I'm in the Word, the clearer my vision is. And so when you're on social media, you can stuff just sticks out so quickly.
I used to tell my boys, and maybe this is a good practice, maybe I'll even consider doing this, maybe the challenge I'll put out there for you and for me. I used to tell my guys when they were younger, if you did homework for an hour, then you can play video games for an hour. If you read for, equal amount. So if you've been in the Word today and it's been 30 minutes, then you can only be on social for 30 minutes.
The problem is, and I don't know if this happens to you, but we go like this. Okay, I've got 30 minutes to be in the Word, and then I can be 30 minutes, and then we forget to keep looking at our watch.
So how about this? There's a thing on I've actually done this recently. You can set a timer on your phone. Now I have an iPhone, right? But I could set a timer, and one of the timers you can set is to shut your phone, like to close it, to close everything that you're in. It just shuts down, like the screen goes off.
Oh.
So you can set a timer for 30 minutes where everything gets shut off. I mean, the phone doesn't get shut off itself, but the screen goes black, and you've got to
and it snaps you out of it because you can get caught up in stuff and
yeah. So set a timer.
So set
a timer for 30 minutes and have it just when your screen goes off. That's it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
There you go.
You're gonna have to show me how to do that.
I'll show you that off once we're done. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for continuing to be an encouragement to couples, an encouragement to, worship leaders and women. And you're just fantastic. I love you.
Jesus.
You're awesome,
I love you
Sally.
too.
Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. Hope this is encouraging. Let us know if you have questions. And if you want to know how to set that timer, just let me know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to do that too.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, go and make it a great rest of your day. And we'll see you on Sunday. Have a good one.